Warren Jackson hanging out with Micah Frazier in the studio today.
Yes, sir. And we got a special guest today. He's here every second Tuesday of the month, so y'all can put that on your calendar. We got Dr. Alan Bryant, Superintendent Dr. Alan Bryant of Idabel Public Schools. How are you today?
Doing great. Glad to be here again this morning. Thank you, guys.
No problem. We appreciate you having coming up here. We got a busy schedule, especially this time of the season, this time of the year, trying to get the grades in, trying to, basketball and all that stuff. So we just let you roll and tell us what you got going on.
All right, you're right. We do have a lot of things going on. We've got about a week and a half left before our kids are out for Christmas break. And our teachers out for Christmas break. I know they're looking towards that break as well. But, only a week and a half left, but a lot of activities this last week and a half. We don't want to lose focus, of course, what we're in school for, and our students will be rolling up during the last week of school, having to take their final semester exams, benchmark exams, those types of things, and those are important, but the activities are also important. And we have we'll kick off with our first home basketball game tonight, so looking forward to that. It's against Hugo, so that ought to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
We have JV, both girls and boys JV here tonight, and varsity as well. And our JVs will begin at 4:00. Girls first, and then boys, and then we'll roll into the varsity right after that. So usually varsity girls get kicked off about 6:30, and then the boys will follow that. But first home basketball games tonight, so invite you to come out for that. Also, our Primary South kids, that's our pre-K through first grade kids, they're be having their Christmas show tonight at Primary South. If you want to go watch that, we invite you to come out. It's always a big deal to watch those kids sing and perform.
Yeah.
That begins at 6:00 this evening. So you can have a full evening of activities with Idabel schools tonight. Go to Primary South, go to the high school, do both. But we invite you to come out and participate with our kids and our school in these events that start tonight.
Okay. What does a superintendent in the office, when all the kids get out on a certain day, what does it look like on the other side when doors are closed, there's no school? How much of a break, I guess is what I'm asking, how much of a break do y'all get as staff and behind the scenes?
It'll slow down a little bit. Of course, I will always be on call if something goes on or a phone has to be answered. Yeah, I will get that. Of course, when the kids aren't in schools, the school buildings are still up. Something could happen. Water lines can break. They have broken. Any number of things could happen. So kids may not be in school, but there's still a lot of things happening. And even with kids being out during Christmas break, we have activities that occur here for our kids during Christmas break as well. I think that we probably had our basketball coaches in and spoke with you guys a week or two ago, maybe. And of course, Idabel is, we like to host a tournament. We have hosted a basketball tournament in Idabel during the Christmas break for probably, I'm going to say the last 10 to 15 years we've had it here, the Idabel Winter Classic. And so that's December 29th through the 31st, I believe, are the dates. A lot of basketball teams, good basketball teams will be, and even teams from as far as Australia will be here to participate. So, even though school is not going on, school doesn't stop. There are still activities, and so busy. Might slow down a little bit for kids and slow down a little bit for staff, but there's still activities we got to be involved with.
And I think that's what, a lot of people take for granted is, like you said, they're, you're still on holiday break, but hey, it's going to be a freeze warning where it's like, okay, well, we need to make sure, nobody else has to worry about that. The parents don't have to worry about it. Kids don't have to worry about it. The majority of the staff don't have to worry about it. That's your pretty much that, that goes up to the top. Hey, let's make sure that we got this, take all precautions, bad weather and stuff, you're up, you have to make, you have to oversee all these kids and stuff when, they just have to wake up, oh, we're out of school. It's not so cut and dry for you.
And we prepare for that, but, there's still the emergency things that happen, things that come up, things you don't expect. The unexpected, those things always happen.
Sure. So with the appreciation level, just talking with you and stuff, it's like, so much goes on with it. You think of, for me before this, superintendent, I don't even know what they did. I don't, but the more and more we talk, and that's what I like is, you're a busy man. So it's, we appreciate you coming in and taking the time to speak with us before you start your regular work day and stuff. And you may have already started it. I don't know what time you, get up, your morning schedule, but yeah, we appreciate you coming in, letting us know what they got going on.
And and another big event we have going on coming up quickly, a week from yesterday actually, is our Taste of Christmas show. It's our fine arts programs at the high school. We'll be putting on our annual Taste of Christmas. You'll be able to watch our choir sing, our bands perform, Christmas foods as well. So, there are a lot of things what we want, and the reason why I like coming out here and speaking to you guys once a month and talking to anyone who may be listening once a month is, we want to keep the community engaged with the school and the school engaged with the community. And this is one of the best ways we can do that is to promote what's happening, promote what our kids are doing. And it's just important that our community, and our community is good about this, but that our community provide the support with our kids' activities. They love seeing our community members there. They work hard, whether it's in sports, whether it's in band or choir or ag. We have a great ag program as well. Our Special Olympics group, they've done well, performed in state competition, and so these kids do a great job. Our teachers and staff do a great job with them, and our community supports us, and we just want to be able to continue to work together and have our community out. So I appreciate the time to come in here, spread the good news about what Idabel does, Idabel schools, and really encourage our community to come out and support what our kids are doing. It's all about our kids.
Yes. And I see that throughout, different people I see around here and stuff. They're behind the kids. Like they all enjoy seeing them, come from pre-K to seniors this year and stuff. And, a lot of the teachers and staff, I remember they were, wasn't even sure about, pre-K, still not, took them a minute to break out and, get used to things. But now looking, they're graduating and, an athlete or a band member or, top 10% or, something like that. And it's just exciting to see, them going from there to like what they've become and stuff. So
yeah, and it's exciting to even see those who graduate, may go off to college for a while or the military or whatever they may do, come back. A lot of them come back and go to work in our community and are, contributing members of our community here. And it's always great to be able to see those kids who I may have associated with the time I spent at high school as a principal over there. Mm-hmm. And, they're back in town working and being a contributing member of society. And it's a joy. It fills my heart whenever I see them and I say, "Oh, hi, Mr. Bryant, how are you doing?" And I have to think for a minute. I've seen so many kids over my career, and kids change. Once you become an adult, your physical appearance changes a little bit. And I have to think for a minute. Yeah. Well, who are you? But I mean, when I get the name back, I remember you, and it's a good feeling to be able to see our kids as they move through life and then come back and become contributing adults to our community here.
Yes, and I think that. The kids seeing that throughout the community as they get older, they remember Bryant. They remember, the male figures in their life that this is what they used to do, and that's how I want to carry myself. That's how I want to be. That's as they grow. Of course, adolescents, they go through their phases of acting up and stuff. I know I did, but at the end of the day, it seems like majority of them go back to what they're more comfortable with and. It is seeing, male figures in their coaches, their, superintendents, the principals, the guys that maybe they back in the, I know I get that. I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club. Right. And, a lot of the times I had to be the, draw the line in the sand and like, I got to be the one that hands down the punishment. And a lot of kids didn't like it. But over the years, it's, what's up, Mr. Mike? It's just there's
appreciation for that.
Yeah, there's that appreciation of you're the only one that didn't let me get away with what I did.
Right.
Stuff. So I know you probably get a lot of that. Sometimes you don't want to be the bad guy, but you have to be, to keep order.
And you build those relationships with those kids, and they'll understand that.
Yeah.
Most of them do if you take the time to build that relationship.
Yeah. And so I know you probably get a lot of that. And it's just that, a lot of these need that father figure. Some of them that just want that attention of, And so, you know, I know they appreciate you and you appreciate them. But I think that's what a lot of these kids need is to see you out in the community, your teachers, the coaches. And so y'all do so much to where, you know, they see how y'all are in public and stuff. And that regardless, you know, they don't know it yet, but that's building their structure, their foundation of how they want to carry themselves, how they want to be.
Be that model.
Yes. Like that's basically, that's in the gist, yeah, like be that model citizen. And, you know, like you said, they come back and they want to work for the school or in the community, or they start their own business. And then now, you know, their kids are coming through the school system and stuff. So that's good. I like the community feel, the small town community feel. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, again, I appreciate the time to be able to come out here once a month and share what we're doing, and just want to continue that relationship, build the relationship between the school and the community. We're all the same. You know, Idabel is Idabel. Idabel Schools is part of Idabel.
Okay. So we're asking, you know, people, you know, different traditions and stuff they got going on this holiday season. Anything y'all do? Anything special? You know, we're talking about, you know, some people, you know, they make snacks with, you know, grandkids together. Some people, they, you know, they may eat different foods, or they may, you know, sit around it's as simple as sitting around a campfire and just telling stories and stuff.
Yeah. As far as us, for our family, you know, of course, there's always traditions in our family, but I think one thing that always comes back to us on our family, even when my kids, who are all grown now, come back into town, there's certain Christmas movies we got to watch.
Yeah.
Because we watched them from the time they were kids growing up, and you know, I could go through a lot of those, but I think probably one of the favorite movies our kids watch, and we still have to watch it every year, is The Elf.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
It's fun. It's fun to do that. They'll have it memorized.
Yes.
You know, and they're adults now, but I mean, they quote the lines better than what the actors quote the lines. But it's still fun to do.
It's always fun, like, you know, when you're on that level, like we all know the movie, and you know, you're sitting there talking, you can have a conversation, but then somebody says something and it triggers that, you know, something they say from the movie, and you know, everybody says it at the same time or something. You know, that's always fun. So that's good. You know, it's as simple as that. Just, you know, just being together. I think that's this holiday season. That's really what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Getting together and enjoying each other's company for the few times or the little time that we get and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can all get busy, and things may be good that are happening with us. There may be some bad things, but the one consistent is, you know, that we have family, we support one another, and that's what's important, is just, you know, building that relationship and keeping that relationship. Even though you may be miles apart, you know, that's a good thing for us. That's, you know, it's one thing that helps me, is to I have that support with my family, and a lot of the things that we enjoy doing were things that we did throughout our whole life. It's built those traditions, and during the Christmas season, that's part of it.
So what is Dr. Alan Bryant's favorite holiday snack?
Probably, if I'm thinking about during the Christmas season, my favorite holiday snack would probably be, and I don't know if it's really a snack or not, but I love pecan pie.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, during Christmas time, I love to eat pecan pie. Just like during Thanksgiving time, my favorite thing to eat is pumpkin pie. So I guess I'm a sweets person. I don't know, but those things are what comes to mind.
Yeah, always. Pecan pie, pumpkin pie is always, it always hits.
What about Christmas song? Favorite Christmas song?
Favorite Christmas song has to be Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells?
Yeah.
Any certain, like, singer, or just the song itself?
Oh, probably just the song itself. Now, if I think about singers, you know, of course, I'm old, and so I think about some of the old time songs. But you know, Bing Crosby sung a lot of Christmas songs. Dean Martin, you know, and we just listening the other day on the radio to Silver Bells, you know, and that was, you know, one of the old performers singing that. So those names come back to my mind. Of course, when I grew up, when I was a kid, those were some of the big singers then. So thinking about some of those old time Christmas songs, those are the names that come back to my mind.
I think that's what everybody, you know, I think everybody goes back to that, because I'm born in '88, but you know, those are the songs I remember. So whenever, you know, my kids, they hear these, you know, new songs, I was like, nah. You know, I'm not saying they're not good, but you know, that's not my cup of tea. Right. Give me some Bing Crosby, some Chuck Berry, Run Run Rudolph. Just the old classics. That's what I like. And so, when they come out with something else, they come out with a new Grinch song or something a few years back. I was like, nah, that never.
That's not Christmas.
Yeah, that's not the Grinch song. So we appreciate you being here, Dr. Alan Bryant, and I guess we'll see you next year if we don't.
That's right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You have a great Christmas, and enjoy your time off, and we'll see you back second Tuesday of next month. Don't forget, folks, every second Tuesday of the month, we'll have Dr. Alan Bryant here, chit-chatting, letting us know what they got going on in the community. So we appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.